This is the only way in, I think. And I don't know about that door because I think that's a separate one too. Here we go.
Forward, police.
Open and empty. Step out.
I got cuffs. I'm coming up.
Step over here to your left.
I'm coming up.
Get down on your knees. Get down on your knees.
Go to the ground now. Put your hands behind your back.
Yep.
Farmington Police Department.
The padlock was right here. The chain was on the chicken coop.
Remember this story? A father in New Mexico and his girlfriend were arrested and charged with several counts of child abuse for allegedly locking up a child in a chicken coop.
What do you think about the allegations? Like, what's pressing your mind right now? What comes to mind in Vista?
That she's told lies before, several.
Then this case took another turn when one of the suspects was shot to death while out on release. I'm Elizabeth Millner with Law&Crime. This case has taken so many turns. Patricia Madrid and her boyfriend Jammy Jackson were first interviewed by police in the fall of last year. Then they were arrested just last month in mid-February. Then Patricia was shot and killed outside the couple's home. But now police say they have a suspect and they've made an arrest. The shooting happened a little more than a week after Patricia and her boyfriend Jamie were arrested and charged with several counts of child abuse for locking up Jamie's 15-year-old daughter in a chicken coop. Patricia was rushed to the hospital, where she ultimately died from her injuries. Now, police released this surveillance video of a person of interest who was seen fleeing from the home on a bike. Officials asked anyone with information to give them a call as the mystery continued. But then an arrest of someone actually close to Patricia herself, Matthew Sandoval. Now, according to police, Matthew and Patricia are related, but it's unclear the full extent of their relationship. And few details have been released so far, like a motive. But he's already been charged with murder and tampering with evidence. Now it begs the question, why? And does it have anything to do with why Patricia was arrested and charged in the first place? To understand this case, we do have to go back to September of last year, specifically September 16th. That's when Farmington police officers got a call from CPS. Child Protective Services was concerned about a teenage girl's welfare. The girl is the daughter of Jammy Jackson. She has autism, ADHD, suffers from fetal alcohol syndrome, and she told caseworkers her dad and his girlfriend locked her in a chicken coop for months. So officers went to the home, and who did they run into? Well, Patricia.
Hello, Patricia. I'm Detective Monclova. We talked on the phone. I have a copy of the warrant for you that you can look over as well. And I will kind of brief you if you guys are good. Is there anyone else inside the house right now that we need to be aware of?
I think James.
Is James here?
Yeah.
Okay.
When did he come back?
I think today.
Okay. Have you had contact with them, or?
He's been here while I leave, and I've been here while he leaves.
Oh, okay.
Was he ever up in Durango?
Huh?
Was he ever up in Durango?
I really don't know. I got a phone call from, I think it's called Access Health.
Okay. And you have a key to your house?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you open it for us?
Yeah.
And the dogs, are you able to...
How many dogs are inside and loose?
Are they friendly?
No, they're not friendly. They bite.
Okay. All right. Can you lock them up?
Yeah.
Is there a place that you can secure them other than the backyard? We're going to have to search the backyard as well.
Okay.
Because if not, we have animal control that can actually put them in their cage, in their vehicle just while we're doing this, and then they can bring them back.
Yeah, I have a cage to put them in.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So can you get the dog? Yeah.
Don't shut it all the way.
No, keep the door open. Okay, then grab him, but I want the door to stay slightly open.
Toss your cover. Put it on me.
Did you grab him?
Get loud. I'm just going to push the door open. Okay, go ahead. I don't know where she went.
Hey, why don't you come back out? So,
She talking to you?
No, she's not.
Ma'am, you need to come back out.
What'd she say? You need to speak up.
In that moment, officers believe Patricia might have been up to something, like stalling. Now, why would she be stalling if there's nothing to hide, right? Well, there reportedly was an order for protection between Jamie and Patricia. Jamie wasn't supposed to be at the home. So when officers gave the all clear, it might have come as a surprise someone popped their head out of the door. You know, if you're ever curious on who you're surrounding yourself with, that's where our sponsor, Truthfinder, comes in. It's one of the largest public record search services in the entire world. And it's just like how it sounds. Their goal is to help people like you and me learn the truth about the people in our very lives. How it works is easy. You go to truthfinder.com, you type a name into the search, then you can see known phone numbers, addresses, any previous arrests or criminal convictions. You can use it to maybe look up a new date, a new neighbor, or possibly even a friend that's been acting kind of shady recently. So right now, Law&Crime body cam viewers can get 50% off confidential background reports at truthfinder.com/LCBodyCam and access information about almost anyone. Again, that's truthfinder.com/LCBodyCam for 50% off.
There's a guy out there. Hello? The guy back here. He came out of the back door at the bottom. Long hair.
Say that's a separate room. That's why I was actually coming down here. We can't get to that room from up there.
Somebody peeked out on that back room over there.
These dogs should be secure in here. All right.
What's that? It's James.
James? Hey, you might be down here under. You might actually have that room.
Cross report. Can you send me the message?
Police department with the search warrant. Come out now. If you do not come outside, we cannot guarantee your safety. Go ahead and get 33.
I got it.
This is Farmington police with the search warrant.
We're in front of this window here.
We need you to come outside now.
Yeah. Hey, Sarge.
Nope. This is the only way in, I think. And I don't know about that door because I think that's a separate one too. Here we go.
Farmington police.
Open and empty. Step out.
I got cuffs. I got cuffs. I'm coming up.
Step over here to your left.
I'm coming up.
Get down on your knees. Get down on your knees.
Go to the ground now. Put your hands behind your back.
Yep.
Farmington Police Department.
I'm sorry, I was asleep.
Okay. Do you have any knives on you?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
The only thing I got is keys. That's it. That's a zipper.
I'm just removing anything that I would deem to be a weapon. Okay. I'm not taking it from you. You'll get it back.
All right.
I'm going to secure that because our search warrant's for any cell phones.
Do you have keys on him?
There's a lighter.
See if we get to this door.
Actually, I don't want to go from there. All right. To your right. To your right. He doesn't have keys on him.
No, the keys.
I gave them back.
It's important to note here, Jamie was cuffed right in front of the chicken coop where he allegedly kept his daughter.
Well, he may want to hide somewhere else in the house watching us on camera.
That's what I was thinking.
Told the cell phone off a little bit right there.
Cool, thank you.
Off of that, where the dogs are at.
All right, let's let CSI document before we start.
Okay, so let's go ahead. We can 6633 now.
Yeah.
You guys find all the evidence?
Found a padlock over here, a chain over here,
You need a bag?
right here. Yeah. Gonna bag them separately or together?
Go ahead and do them together and I'll separate them.
Did I write down and found the visit, sir?
Yeah.
Where was it? Where was that locked up? Outside?
It's outside right here. And this was, the padlock was right here. The chain was on the chicken coop.
The treatment the girl described to police was horrible. She said she was only allowed to use the bathroom twice a day. She had to get approval to use the bathroom if it wasn't during her scheduled times. She was forced to stand outside in the winter. And when she wasn't sleeping in the chicken coop, as horrible as that phrase already is to say, she was ordered to sleep on the floor. For food, it was a menu of ramen noodles. And if that wasn't shocking enough, she claimed her dad held a gun to her head. The text messages between Patricia and Jamie painted an even worse picture. For example, back in February 2024, Jamie allegedly texted Patricia, "Well, I Googled it. Having her stand in one spot wearing earmuffs and eye mask is abuse, so we need to figure out something." Patricia responded, "I'm working on it. Maybe you should help me instead of complain." And Jamie replied, "Well, I said a while back I didn't agree." In April, Patricia wrote, "Her bathroom is 7:45 and 5 p.m. Why is she in there all day?" Jamie allegedly replied, "I know she was cleaning the cat litter pans, but I didn't see her in the toilets because I chased her out." On July 15th of last year, Patricia allegedly wrote, "The rest of the day, don't feed her. Don't need her until she's hungry and asks for food or steals it. I told you don't feed her, but you say I'm abusive. Don't feed her until she's dying for food and starving." And Jamie replied, "I know it's stupid and okay." Then on August 21st, just weeks before officers executed a search warrant, Patricia allegedly wrote, "You left and she's walking around the backyard and side yard. I guess start locking her up before you leave." Jamie replied, "Dang it, okay." Patricia responded, "She was digging under the garden bed and she took it into the coop. She's been stealing from my garden and eating." Now, like I said, a sinister, dark picture. And those were conversations before police visited their home. But those messages were pulled during the investigation, so after police spoke with Patricia and Jamie. So during her police interview, Patricia painted Jamie's daughter, who again is just 15 years old, as a troublemaker.
Tell me a little bit about Georgia, what kind of kiddo she is. And
honestly, I really don't know. I know, like, when my daughter and I used to go up there to visit, she would get violent with my daughter. Like, when they were playing Barbie, she would, like, hit her and tell her, "You better do it like this." And my daughter, right away, she is just like, "I don't want to have anything to do with her."
Mm-hmm.
And she would run and tell James, and James would tell my daughter, you know, he would get on her and tell her, like, he would get more on my daughter than Georgia. But then over the years, he started to find out that it was Georgia. And the same thing with Jonathan. Jonathan, he wouldn't really talk. And, sorry.
no, if you need to stop, you don't feel well, we can.
Jonathan, he wouldn't really talk. But we found out that she would do things and then she would blame Jonathan. It's like any way that she could stay out of trouble, she would just blame whoever.
Okay.
And she still doesn't have good hygiene. She's very egocentric. Like, if she doesn't get the attention or somebody else is getting more attention than her, she gets upset.
And when she gets upset, how does she express that, I guess?
She steals, she lies, she just acts out.
It's definitely not the nicest way she could talk about a 15-year-old, and she seemed to make her feelings clear on how she felt about her longtime boyfriend's daughter.
And tell me more about her hygiene.
Well, when I met her, she was always in her pajamas, didn't brush her teeth. She had a bunch of that plaque, I think it's called, all over her teeth. Her breath really smelled. She wouldn't brush her hair. She would just wear pajamas and just run around like crazy.
What's she do throughout the day? Does she go to school?
See, that's another thing. She had a counselor, Jackie Sandoval, and she was working with her, trying to get her to take a shower. We made a schedule for her and visual schedule, decided on what days she would do it, and like her chores and then going to school.
Okay. And where did she go to school?
She went online, K-12.
Okay.
But she wouldn't, I would always tell her, what time does school start? And she would say 8:30. I said, okay, that means you have to go to school at 8:30. But the chores, her hygiene, she would take excessive amount and not even do her hygiene. I would say maybe an hour to an hour and a half. And then her chores were the cat litter and the dog poop and feeding the animals.
Mm-hmm.
And she would take anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. So she would miss, like, I don't know, maybe like the first period. But during that time, I was at another job and I would be gone out of the house by 8.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that's just what I heard, like from James, that she's not going to school. And then recently, I mean, the school has given her so many chances and she just will not do it. She will not go to school. So they kicked her out. And we talked to her homeroom teacher, and James and I and the teacher kind of decided that maybe let her get her GED.
And who was that? What teacher? Or was that through the K-12 or was that?
K-12.
Okay.
I don't remember her name at all.
Okay. And the counselor, who was the counseling through?
It was through PMS.
PMS, okay. And when was the last time she attended counseling?
I think maybe a year since she saw Jackie. But Jackie, she just said, I've been here counselor for 3 years. I have not seen any improvement. You don't want to better yourself. I can't justify my services, and I have to quit.
Okay.
And then she referred us to Priscilla Rothwell. And she was kind of, I don't know how to describe it. Like, Georgia puts on different behavior and attitude, I guess. Like, she would tell, I had to start sitting in the counseling with Jackie because she would lie right to Jackie's face. And I said, no, Jackie, that didn't happen. So with Priscilla, it was the same thing. She would go in there and she would act innocent, like she didn't do anything, and Priscilla was like eating into it.
And what kind of things would she lie to Jackie about?
Like, she would tell Jackie, yes, I'm going to school. Yes, I'm listening. Yes, I did my hygiene.
And what was she going to counseling for?
I'm not really sure.
Okay.
I know it was just mainly maybe behavior.
Uh-huh. Is she diagnosed with anything, or not to your knowledge?
Well, she is, but
Does she have medical issues or anything like that?
well, see, I'm confused on that part because Jackie said ADHD, and then Priscilla said fetal alcohol syndrome and autism, and I think ADHD. But then she saw another psychologist. His name is John, and he said there's nothing wrong with her.
And where was John at?
He's from, I think, Social Security. Or I don't know if I don't remember what James said. Either there was nothing wrong with her and she didn't get Social Security, or her condition
didn't meet the...
Yeah, it wasn't extreme enough.
Okay.
But when it came time to talk about the allegations of her locking Jamie's daughter in a chicken coop, she denied that.
And then there was also allegations of having to actually being locked in the chicken coop out back. Okay. Tell me about that. She said that every morning from about 6 o'clock in the morning until 10 to midnight at night, she would have to be locked in the chicken coop.
I'm not aware of that. I know that her chore was to feed the chickens and give them water. And then I caught her a couple of times in there and she was busting eggs. She really messes with a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Like what?
Just everything.
The more detail you can give me, the better, just so I can kind of clarify things.
As far as the chicken coop goes, she's not doing any chores because she won't do them. She will not help with anything. The only time I've caught her in there is when she was playing with the chicken eggs and busting them and doing whatever.
Did she say why she was busting them, or?
Because she likes to watch the ants eat it.
Okay.
She's like, I don't know, curious about things. Like she has to see how things work. But I did see her in there doing that. And
have you ever made her go out there for discipline and
no,
sit in the chicken coop or stand in the chicken coop? Okay.
We just send her to her room or put her in the living room and tell her, you know, you're in timeout.
Okay. Do you guys ever spank or anything?
I don't. James, it's his kids. He disciplines them.
Okay. Have you ever seen him spank them?
No.
Okay.
I've seen him yell at them.
And kids can be a handful, I get it. So sometimes, you know, parents lose their cool. They don't know how to handle things. Have you ever got so angry that maybe you did something that probably shouldn't have done and you realized that, but you just kind of lost control? And
the only thing is just raising my voice in frustration.
Okay. What about a belt? She mentioned that there was a belt that was used on her. It's a black and silver studded belt with belling wire on it.
I don't know. I have belts, but they don't fit me anymore. And James, all I know that he has is just that rope belt that he wears.
So if we're able to pull the footage from those cameras, are we going to see, what are we going to see on those cameras?
I don't know.
Would we be able to see stuff that corroborates what you're telling me, or would we see stuff corroborating what Georgia's telling us?
Well, in the morning, James and I were asleep, and she does get up early. And people complain about her walking around outside and doing stuff in the backyard, and, you know, we're asleep.
What kind of stuff does she do in the backyard, do you know?
She just messes with the animals, the pool, the animals, the chickens.
Jamie didn't seem to come to his daughter's defense either during his interview.
Who usually issues discipline to the kids?
Mainly Patricia.
Okay.
I mean, every once in a while I'll say, well, you need to clean your room or do this or that, but that's about it.
Okay. And does Patricia do the disciplining with your kids as well, or how?
Yes.
Okay.
But I do more of it with my kids than she does.
Okay. And what kind of discipline when, let's say, Giselle's not listening or she needs discipline, how does Patricia discipline Giselle?
She talks to her.
Talking? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then,
Or she'll take something away from her. And
okay. And what about, how do you discipline or adjust your kids whenever needed, I guess?
well, like with Georgia, I'll take a computer or a laptop away or a book. That's her favorite book. And I'll say, if you do this, you can have this book back or the computer. And my son, I really don't have issues with him.
Sure. And he's 19?
19.
Okay.
So I really don't have issues with him.
Okay.
Because him and me work together doing small engines and mechanics.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So, but I mean, every once in a while he'll have an outburst, and I just leave him alone. I'll just say, "Okay, son, go simmer down."
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. And I may have asked this already, it's been a long day, but how's Patricia's relationship with your kids? How would you describe it?
I'd say pretty good. Okay, except Georgia's always had some sort of a, I don't know, grudge. Ever since me and Patricia got together, since her mom passed away.
And when did her mom pass away?
A little over 10 years ago.
Okay.
I only knew, excuse me, Patricia probably 6 months before I moved from Durango to Farmington.
Okay. And how did her mother pass?
Massive brain aneurysm from drugs and everything. And the deal is Georgia has autism, fetal alcohol, ADHD. My son has fetal and ADHD.
Okay.
And and Georgia is more of a handful than my son.
So explain how she's a handful, I guess. What you mean by that?
Well, like we tried having her share a room with her brother. She was stealing stuff, breaking stuff. Then we tried in Giselle's room. She was doing the same thing. So we put her downstairs in the kitchenette with Ida bed.
Sure.
That way, it would stop the problems.
Sure.
But every once in a while, we catch her down there digging. And so we have to say, Georgia, this is not your stuff. Stay out of it. You know. And she'll get aggravated when she gets caught. Try not to admit it. And we're like, we see you doing it.
Right.
So, and I mean, we even had her going through counseling at PMS for 3 years, and she wouldn't even listen to the counselor.
And what was she going to counseling for? Was there something specific, or?
It was for her behavior, and just, she was also seeing another doctor there. I'm trying to remember his name. Asante. And she was seeing Jackie Sandoval for 3 years. Jackie had tried everything to get her to behave, take care of her hygiene, everything. And she just finally, she said, Georgia, I've tried for 3 years and you don't want to listen. She says, I'm going to have to just step away. And so, Batista, I believe it was Dr. Batista, it might have been Jackie, told us to take her to a psychologist. So we did. And that's when she came up with autism, and we already knew she had fetal and ADHD, but then the other one said autism. And by my understanding, according to Letitia, they took her to Albuquerque. I think they had to be there at 12:30 today for testing. And because I talked to Letitia today, earlier, she said, you know, everything's fine. The investigation's still going on. She said, so y'all don't have to, you know, worry about anything.
Right. And I'll clarify that. So, in instances involving children, CYFD gets involved. They have their own investigation, and then law enforcement's involved. We have our own investigation. They handle like the more civil side of the allegations and stuff, and we deal with the criminal side. So it's two separate investigations. It's the same for the same allegations and everything, but they're two separate investigations. So,
Okay. But
so
yeah,
that's
as far as her being locked in a coop, no.
why do you think she would say something like that?
Well, she does a lot of lying.
What do you think about the allegations? Like, what's crossing your mind right now? What comes to mind hearing this stuff?
That she's told lies before, several. I mean, just like she told us, Cindy was feeding her rotten food, which is her grandma on that end. And Kathy picked her up and threw her across the room, up there. She also claimed that her own mother molested her. Then she also claimed Allie and Coulter and her had a three-way. So this is... And then she also claimed that Cindy allowed her to watch porn with her husband before he passed away. So there's a lot of allegations, but
Okay.
So again, Jamie wasn't charged with child abuse until months later, February of this year, when he and Patricia were both charged together. But now with an arrest in her murder, we could soon learn if the cases are connected. Jammy Jackson was released from jail on March 14th. His trial is scheduled for September of this year. As for Matthew Sandoval, he's being held in the San Juan Adult Detention Center in Farmington, New Mexico. Reporting for Law and Crime, I'm Elizabeth Millner.